Tyra Hunter was a Black transgender woman who began transitioning at just 14 years old. Originally from Culpeper, Virginia, Tyra moved to the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., this political area, for work, where she built a life as a beloved hairdresser. I would like to mention that this is a very sad story. So if you are an LGBT person or know anyone who is, this story may leave you so heartbroken. So I would like to say that listener discretion is advised. And transgender lives do matter. All of these unique lives matter. On the morning of August 7th, 1995, Tyra was driving to work with a friend who was also employed at the hair place. And then a tragedy struck. A speeding stolen car driven by 21-year-old Gerald J. Johnson crashed into them. Johnson immediately fled the scene, abandoning the wrecked stolen vehicle. Both Tyra and her friend sustained injuries. Good Samaritans quickly intervened, pulling them out of the car and urgently seeking medical help. Ambulances soon arrived and rushed both Tyra and the friend to the DC General Hospital. Sadly, out of the two of them, only Tyra's friend survived, being discharged a few days later. Tyra herself was pronounced dead shortly after arriving there. Visitation for Tyra was held at the Bainis Royal Funeral Home on August 11th, 1995. The next day, there was a celebration of life at the same location. This was in Savannah, Georgia, where Tyra had family members, many of them. Shortly after fleeing the crash scene, the theft suspect, Gerald J. Johnson, was arrested nearby. He was taken to the headquarters of the DC Metro Police Department on Indiana Avenue, and then booked into the DC Central Detention Facility. Gerald first appeared in court before Judge Kenneth Rosenyo. Prosecutor Rick Boyle announced charges in this hearing: negligent homicide and automotive theft, both felonies, along with a first-degree misdemeanor of reckless driving. Public defender David Benowitz was assigned to represent him. Judge Rosenyu ordered that Johnson remain at the detention center without bond. Gerald Johnson was later arraigned before Judge Thomas Motley, where he pleaded not guilty to the charges. Despite this, Judge Motley granted him release under house arrest, setting bond at $50,000. Johnson was able to post bond shortly after with the help of financial assistance. Judge Motley later dismissed the negligent homicide charge, citing lack of evidence. Investigators ultimately blamed the actions for the firefighters and EMTs, not for Johnson, but for Tyra Hunter's death. In March 1996, Johnson accepted a plea deal. He pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor of auto theft in order to have the rest dismissed. This decision was made before Judge Motley. He was fined $1,000. By March 1997, Johnson had fully paid off the fine, and Judge Motley ordered that the case be sealed. Eyewitnesses and reports revealed that first responders at the accident scene had used slurs against Tyra Hunter, such as tranny, made derogatory comments about her gender identity, and ultimately neglected medical care because she was a Black transgender. Because of this mistreatment, Tyra's mother, Margie Hunter, sued the District of Columbia, seeking justice for her daughter's wrongful death. This civil case was heard before DC Magistrate John Penn. She was represented by an attorney who chose to take up her case, Richard Silber, a liberal lawyer. Margie Hunter was seeking $10 million in damages. The District of Columbia itself was named as the defendant. Initially, this district was defended by lead attorney John Payton, but after Payton's term ended, Gerald Pinkston Jr. took over lead representation, serving as a Washington, D.C. city attorney, while Payton continued attending hearings in a support capacity. After failed settlement attempts, the lawsuit went to trial in late 1998, lasting for several weeks. Supporters, including Dana Preecing, a journalist from the transgender publication Tapestry, were present to support Tyra's mother during these emotional proceedings. On December 11th, 1998, a 12-person jury with two alternates serving as backups awarded nearly $2.9 million in damages to Margie Hunter. Judge Clarence Thomas accepted the jury's verdict and issued a final judgment. He ordered the district to reform fire department policies, ensuring that such discrimination and negligence would not happen again. Judge Thomas firmly refused to overturn the verdict nor order a new trial. The District of Columbia's government appealed the verdict, but the D.C. Court of Appeals refused to grant a new trial. An appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court was attempted, but this higher court declined to hear the case. With no investigative institution willing to intervene, the city's appeal efforts ultimately collapsed. The death of Tyra Hunter exposed the deadly consequences of transphobia, medical neglect, and systemic discrimination. Though Tyra's life was tragically cut short, her case left an undeniable legacy, forcing change, exposing injustice, and inspiring future advocacy for the rights, dignity of transgender people everywhere. Thank you for listening. Take care. Trans lives matter, Black lives matter, and have a good rest of your day.